Women come into this new bar room. They go right up to the bar. They put a foot on the brass railing. They order. They are served. They bend the elbow. They hoist. They toss down the feminine esophagus, the brew that was really meant for men, stout and wicked men. The last barrier is down. The citadel has been stormed and taken. There is no longer any escape, no hiding place, where the hounded male may seek his fellow and strut his stuff, safe from the atmosphere and presence of femininity. A man might as well do his drinking at home with his wife and daughters. And there was never fun in that. Don Marcus.
Men and women almost never drank together before Prohibition. Maybe at occasional dinner parties of the rich, because the saloon was a male-only institution. But the speakeasy, where there was no law enforced of any kind, became different. And if you have a little jazz band and somebody's, going to play the Charleston, you're going to have women and men together. There's a real liberation for women and liberation of behavior that takes place then. An independence that said, he can drink, I can drink too. And that wouldn't have happened before Prohibition.
I went to Radcliffe, and there was Harvard was right beside, and the boys at Harvard were always making bathtub gin, and having people for drinks. I was somewhat in awe of some of the college men that I knew. They were so grown up. They were juniors and seniors. I sort of went along with it. I didn't drink much, but I did drink some. And I thought it was quite good. It made you feel nice and cheerful.
There's a liberation here that the young, urban, modern woman could jump into and really go crazy. Whether it was wild dancing or wild sex, or really the sense of no one's going to tell me what I can or can't do. Women were suddenly behaving in very different ways in the 1920s. It's not a complete turn overnight. In some ways, this is a gradual build-up from the beginning of the 20th century. But then in the 1920s, it seems to really take off.
Historians talk about a revolution in morals in the 1920s, and some of what's said is exaggerated, but the most careful studies find that if women were not being more promiscuous, men and women were enjoying sex more.
You'll do it someday, so why not now? Won't you let me try to show you how? Think what you're missing. Oh, it's a shame. You miss the kissing and the rest of the game in open spaces where men are men. A chicken never waits till she's a hen. Don't keep me waiting, for I do vow you'll do it someday, so why not now?
I did realize that there was a fast set and that you had to be prepared for how you were going to answer questions. It was the beginning of the time when boys and girls slept together. There was quite a lot of that going on, which astounded me from my innocent background. But anyway, it was happening a lot, really. My girlfriends told me, and would ask, did I have a really good boyfriend or not? But I always denied it.
The older generation of women who had fought so hard to win the vote and to bring about Prohibition were more and more appalled at the wanton behavior of their daughters.
There would have been a sexual revolution in the 1920s without the role of alcohol, but because the two were happening together, folks who were active in the temperance and suffrage movements came to zero in on liquor as an engine of this new sexual revolution.
Don't keep me waiting, or I do vow you'll do it someday, so why not now?
We tend to think ahistorically, so we imagine that our generation invented sex, or that it invented drinking, or even that it invented drug use. If you look at the movies of the 1920s, for instance, Flaming Youth, the Colleen Moore movie, which was arguably the first flapper movie, it portrays a tremendous amount of sex and a tremendous amount of drinking. There's even a very scandalous scene that's seen behind a silhouette in which all of the teenagers are jumping into a pool unclothed.
If you're in Omaha or you're in Cleveland or wherever it might be, and you see the young, glamorous Joan Crawford drunk and dancing on a tabletop in Our Dancing Daughters, well, gee, that's the life of the exciting people in the big cities, so it spreads. And you find that the country, as the country becomes more homogenized through mass media, one of the things that's getting homogenized is its drinking habits.
Let's misbehave.
In Hollywood and on the Broadway stage, in magazines and newspapers, and countless songs turned out by Tin Pan Alley.
Let's misbehave.
Illegal alcohol, with its hint of illicit sex, had come to be seen as a sign of glamour and sophistication, something to be sought after, not shunned.
It's part of the conspicuous consumption of the 1920s, where the amount you spent and what you got and the brand and the label and everything became, it became that much more important to people. It's a status symbol. It's kind of strange to think of something so illegal being such a status symbol. You were what you drank.